Still on? No. There you go.
Now I get to redo this. Oh, he started with y'all good. Good. And now we're back. So does that make sense? $1.50 per 100 of value. If I say that, the value of the property. So if your house is $300,000, what's the most property tax you'd be paying? $4,500 a year. And each district, each area is different. They're probably similar, but the county clerk. Our county clerk, the office is catty corner to the courthouse. It's on the northeast corner of the square. Hey Brack, have you ever been to the county clerk's office? I know Pacer has. Lakin, you ever go in the county clerk's office? Had to go to the county clerk's office for something, for baseball? What do y'all have in the past? Any of y'all that played baseball? What was something you had to have sometimes? Birth certificate, right? The county clerk has the birth certificates. The county clerk is in charge of county documents, county records.
Like marriage and stuff like that. Right?
What's that? Yes, marriage licenses. You might go to the courthouse, but the county clerk's office has all there. Any state, county documents.
So they'd have a copy. They wouldn't have the original.
Here's what I've learned. To play baseball, Pacer had to have an official birth certificate from the state of Texas. So they could order it for baseball. I want you to get this is how stupid things are in America. To play 12-year-old baseball, we had to order a special birth certificate from Austin. I think it costs like $30 or so, I don't remember. To get my driver's license, I just had to show up at the Tarrant County clerk's office and they'd give me a copy of a birth certificate. And it worked. So to play 12-year-old baseball, we had to go through all this rigmarole and have the official document sent to us. But to get a driver's license, I just had to go to the county clerk. They have those documents. They're also in charge of ballots. Now the Secretary of State in each state is responsible for the state election and certifying it. The county clerk oversees the election at the county level. Okay? Ballots and elections. And we elect that person. I forget who it is now. But we elect them. They run for office, they work for the county, they're a government employee. Most cities, most incorporated cities, Paradise has this, Decatur has this, Dallas has this. Cottondale does not have this. Right? Most places have a mayor, council form of government. What is this kind of similar to? Mayor, council, president, and Congress. So the mayor is like the executive, the council is like the legislature. In Paradise, it's more like the Senate, where the vice president bangs the gavel and kind of runs the meeting, and is kind of with the Senate. In Paradise, you have a mayor and you have city council. I think there's 4 members on the city council and 1 mayor. And it's not, I mean, the mayor has other duties. I think their pay is you get your water bill paid. But being on the city council is not as bad as being on the school board. But anything going wrong, you get the phone calls. And whenever the person feels like calling you. There's a pothole! You know, they call you and they gripe about everything. And it's not as big a deal in Paradise because we don't have a police, we don't have a fire, we don't have a street department, we don't have a parks department, we don't have a lot of stuff. What's something Paradise needs horribly bad.
Connection through the
Chick-fil-A?
No, we don't need any of that. We need food. What do we need? We need, it has to do with food, it has to do with the end process of
grocery
food.
store. Bathroom.
Sewer system. We don't have a sewer system. We have septic tanks, which is fine when you got about 50 houses. I'm not a scientist. But what's happening in this area? And are they? What are they? That field over there, not that field, but the one over, there's gonna be about 80 houses there. There's gonna be about 50 houses over there. And they're all little half-acre lots, they have a septic tank. That's a crappy situation.
Both ways.
And the school. You ever drove by that little thing out there in the parking lot and the red lights going whack, 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 whack? You know what I'm talking about? It used to go off all the time. That's the school's septic tank.
Yeah, I did.
And a few years ago, we had a bond election, and part of that bond election was to rebuild. I think we were going to try to go in with the city and actually build a city water treatment system. There's going to be like millions of dollars. You know what the two gas well tanks are out there? You know what I'm talking about? You have the gas well tanks.
They're clean ones.
That's for the that's for the overflow. Because our septic tank can't handle. 10 years ago, our septic tank couldn't handle what we were doing. And so, instead of fixing it, which we don't have the money to fix it, we threw that thing up there. And somebody has to come empty it every once in a while. Where Paradise is going to need a septic system, a sewer system at some point, water treatment system at some point.
That's so good.
And one of the questions is, where do we put it? Because we're starting to, and there's really not a whole lot of places we could, that has to be done pretty quick. So, anyway. We got a mayor.
What are they gonna do when that happens? So every house is gonna be hooked up there?
You gotta run. Yeah. I thought this 20 years ago when they put the water system in. I thought, we really kind of need a sewer system too. Because you're gonna have to dig holes and pipes and
Because now they have to redo almost everything.
there's gonna be a ton of work to do that. And it's gonna cost way more now than it did then. All right.
Not our problem.
Well, yeah, kind of. If you do stick around somewhere, it is.
I don't live there.
Bristol, they got a sewer system. Yeah, they did it a long time ago. All right, but you have the mayor, you have the city council. In Dallas, being the mayor, that's your full-time job. And you have a lot more responsibility in Dallas. Okay, I'm noticing people ain't writing that. Somewhere like Dallas, New York, that's more like the president, where you actually have you're over everything, and the mayor runs everything and does everything, and the city council's like Congress, and it's more of a big deal. Decatur, not as big a deal, but they got more stuff. But you understand the mayor, council, executive, legislative type deal. All right, let's look at Paradise. At large. That word at large means the whole thing. If you get that concept, this will make sense. At large means the whole thing. At large means the whole thing.
So, large.
At large means the whole thing.
It means right.
Means the whole thing. If you get that, this will make sense. Here's Paradise. And here is Dallas. Paradise has at-large members of the city council and the school board. They're separate. And the Paradise city limits is different than the school city limit or school limits. So if you're a member of the city council, who do you represent? The whole thing. You represent the whole city. If you're on the Paradise School Board, you represent everybody in the school district. So in Paradise, let's say it looks like this. I don't know, I'm trying to kind of. Okay. Could the four city council people live all within the same section of town? Yes, because they don't represent an area, they represent the whole thing. School board members, they could all live on that side of the Paradise School District because they represent everybody. Does that concept make sense? In Dallas, they have precincts.
They have to live in their district.
They split the city up because there's 1.5 million people in Dallas. They want to make sure that people that live over here are represented, and people that live over here are represented, and you are a single member district. You represent your area of town, not the whole thing. So for the school board and for the city council in a place like Dallas, you don't represent the whole thing, you represent your precinct, your area. Paradise, you represent the whole thing. Somebody asked me a couple years ago, why don't you run for city council? I said, look, half the people hate me. I don't want all the people hate me. That's all you need to be as a teacher and a politician to really, that guy's great. Plus I don't want, the worst thing in the world, the absolute worst thing in the world is a phone ringing. So you have to answer it and talk to somebody. And if you're on one of them things, I don't know why anybody joins the school board. There's meetings, and you have to answer questions and deal with garbage. I don't need that. So does that make sense? At large and single member districts. Y'all, everybody sees the difference. Single member districts are big cities. Decatur, I don't know. I don't know if they're single member districts or if they're probably on the border of Southlake, I'm sure, is like single member districts. Decatur might be in between. They could be at large, or they could be single member. All right, a city manager. Decatur has a city manager. Dallas has a city manager. Bridgeport has a city manager. Chico might have a city manager. Paradise doesn't have a city manager. Boyd might have a city manager. A city manager is hired. They're not elected. They're hired by the city council. We don't have one because our town doesn't have police, fire, street department, any of that kind of stuff, parks department. The city manager's job